Hello, welcome to Zest Prime. As part of this video, we are going to understand another hook of React.js called useEffect. So this is very useful and very important when you are building the applications, like in case of when you are building any component, and if there is any changes in the component, if you want to understand what kind of changes happen in terms of state or properties, so useEffect hook is very useful, and based on that you can do some other actions. What changes happened, what parameter got changed in case of state or properties. So what is the use of that changes, how to react for that particular changes. So this can be done with the help of use effect. So we are going to understand this one with the help of a simple application by creating it. So let's get started. So I'm going to create a simple React.js application. So by using that one, we are going to understand how to use useEffect functionality. So as usual, I'm going to create. So basically what I'm trying to do here, I'm just trying to create a simple React.js application with the help of npx command, create React app, and this is our app name, use effect demo. Okay, so just correct it. Let me correct the spelling. So use effect demo. So this is what we are trying to create a simple application with the help of npx command. So then press enter. So it will take a couple of minutes to create the application. So once the application is created, so then we are going to start using it. We're just trying to download all the necessary dependencies. So just wait for a couple of minutes and then we can start using it. So now we can see, so the installation is done, and let me open it. So now the packages, all packages necessary dependencies got downloaded and the project got created. So if you want to see the project, so you can see here use effect demo. So this is the project, it got created. So to use this project, we are going to open this project into our Visual Studio Code. So this we have seen how to install Visual Studio Code in the previous videos. In case if you don't have it, I will recommend to go and install first Visual Studio Code and the corresponding steps. Okay, so I'm just opening useEffect demo. So now we have opened our useEffect demo, and so we can see all the dependencies and node modules, and we can see the default code which is generated under source. Okay, so now what we are going to do, first we have to start our application. So to start our application, what you have to do, you can go to the useEffect demo and then can start the npm start and then press enter. So what it will do, it will start our application with the help of node.js as a server. Okay, then we can see the basic application which is coming up. After that we are going to start. So let me close all other windows. Okay, so now if you see here, our basic application is now running and we can see the the default application UI. So what we don't want all this spinner and all, so we are just going to come here and just clean up all those things, save it, just write hi, just to verify our application is working fine. So you can see over here now hi is coming, so that means our basic application is working, right? So now what we are going to do, first we are going to see how to use our use effect. So to use the use effect, we are going to understand, or we are going to use one of the existing hook called useState. So that we have already seen in the previous video how to use the useState. So we are just going to import the useState and we are going to define a variable. Okay, to import that useState function, we are going to take it from the React. So let me take it that one first. Import React from React. So basically what I'm trying to do, I just imported basic React functionality which is required as a runtime for our application, to build our application. So this is the React one, and another things I'm going to use some of the functions. useState. So useState we have already seen in the previous video how to use it and what is the purpose. Along with that, I'm going to take another one is useEffect. So these are the two hooks I'm going to use it to understand the useEffect. So useState we have already seen in the previous video, and now let me use that one. So to use the useState, so we have to define a constant. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to declare a simple variable called count and then set count. So I'm going to give the default variable value for the count is 0. Correct? So this is the way we can use the state. You can define the variable and define another method to update it and pass the default value. So this is the way you can define the variable value. So now what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to display the value, current value count. So what it will do, it will try to display the default value count to the UI. Let me verify that one. If you come back here, right, so default value is displaying as a count. Correct? So now I'm going to create a button. So I'm going to create a button which will, once you click the button, it will update the count to the next value. So on click. So what it will do, whenever clicking the button, what I want to do, I want to update the count. I want to update the count to the next value. So this is the way you can update the value. You can write directly, you can use the, you can call the function set count. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to update the count plus 1. So whenever I'm trying to click the button, so I'm going to call the use state function. Indirectly we are going to call the set count, and we are trying to update the count values. So that way your state will reflect and the count value will be changed. So let me verify that one first. Come back here. So let me open the browser, it got closed. Localhost. So we can see here count is displaying, just immediate to that one button is displaying. I just want to display the button bottom, so just give the break. That's it. So that button will display into the next line. So now come back here. Close it. Okay. So now come back here and verify the button. So you can see count is displaying and just in next line. So count value is increasing, right? So now to understand the main functionality use effect, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write use effect functionality. So this is what use effect functionality. So what is the main purpose of this one? If there is a change in your in your functional component specific to state or properties, so your use effect functionality will be notified. So that is the main functionality, right? How it will notify, so that we are going to understand it. So it's just build it. So this is the useEffect functionality. I have just implemented useEffect function. I have overridden. So inside that, what I am going to do here, I am going to read the value of the count. If you see here, right, I am going to display the count over here. That's it. So to see the console log, I had to open the developer tools. So let me open it. Go to more tools, developer tools. So you will see the, you can clear everything. So you can just refresh it. So this basically, this use effect will be called only one time by loading the page first time, and whenever there is a property change, so then it will call again and again. But if you see it over here, right, it called two times. Whenever I'm trying to refresh, it is calling two times, because in non-production it will call two times just to create more advantage for the developer to see the effectiveness. But in case but production, it won't call two times. But still, if you don't want to call two times this use effect, so you can come to your index.js and you can remove this strict mode. So due to this, it will call two times. So you just save it, you can come back, now refresh. So now it's calling only one time, it will not call multiple times. So it will call only one time, refresh and verify. So you can see only one time. So now what is the main purpose of this app? So we need to see the value whenever there is a change. Now come back here. Now let me increment it. See, now if you see here, it's keep on incrementing. But no, we don't have any control, but it's keep changing the value and it's trying to control. But if you want to control this use effect, if there is a change based on the field, so then there is a default array, it's possible. So this is another one. So basically what this array will do, if there is a change, if there is a change in this particular field, any particular field, and you want to execute this one, in that case you can define a optional array is possible, and inside that you can put your field. Now come back here, you can put over here. So this is the way you can define the a variable specific to a particular state or property, then you can able to control the execution part. Now come back here. So now it is executing every time. Now come back here, it's changing whenever your count is changing. Basically your use effect is calling and is displaying. Say for instance, if you don't want to execute your use effect even though the count is changing, don't pass the value, then your use effect function will not be called even your count is changing. Let's come back here. Let's restore. By default it will call only one time. Next time you just keep clicking, the count is changing, but your use effect is not calling. Your count is changing, but your use effect functionality is not calling. Okay, let me refresh and we'll verify one more time. Now let me increment it. So if you see here, your use effect functionality is not calling. So to understand this one, you can override use effect functionality and you can implement the logic what you want to do. And it's that there is a default array is possible. If you are not passing the, if you are not defining the array, it will execute for every change, whether it's a state or properties. But if you pass as a default array, then it will not execute. If you specify a particular field, then if there is a change, then only the use effect will be executed. Now I just verified, or I just kept only count. So if there is a change in the count, your use effect functionality will be called. So that is the use of use effect. By using this one, you can able to capture all the side effects of the functional component. It could be state or it could be properties. So that is the main usage. In case if you have another state field, example count to, you can define here. If there is a change in the count to, it will execute. Similarly, if you have any property, So you can define like this, and if there is a change in the property, it will execute. If there is a change in the count, it will execute. If you are not defining property, then if there is a change in the property, it won't execute. So that's the way you can define a list of properties, or accordingly, if there is any change in this array properties, then it will execute the use effect. So this is one of the advantage of use effect. So there is one more advantage we can use it. This is for cleaning activities. So how to use the cleaning activities? So let me write it. So you can override or you can define anonymous function, and inside that you can write a simple log which will understand for us. So whenever your useEffect functionality is executing, if you want to clean everything before executing useEffect, if you want to do some cleaning activities before executing your code, so that kind of things, it can be done in this written functionality. So before executing useEffect, you want to do some cleaning activity. It will be done first and then your logic will be executed. So let me show you that one. So if I'm going to refresh, and we can see, so by default it called one time, first time, because first time we don't need to clean up, it's already cleaned up, fresh code. So next time I'm going to click it, so you can see the cleaning activity is done, then it got executed or useEffect functionality. Next time I'm increasing the count, your cleaning activity is done, it is implementing your useEffect functionality. So that's the way, if you want to do some cleaning activity before executing your useEffect functionality, so then you can do the return functionality, and inside that you can do cleaning activity, and this is your useEffect functionality. So this is the way you can use it. Two ways: one is to perform the cleaning activities before executing the useEffect, or you can execute only useEffect if there is a change in terms of state or properties. You can define over here accordingly, your specification, the useEffect will be called and it will be executed. So this is the main usage of useEffect. Okay, I think that's all about this video. If you like the video, you can subscribe channel for more subsequent updates, and thank you so much.